All right. I'm ready. I'm recording.
Recording in progress.
You bringing the guns? The whole
Dude, I
show?
got I got both of them
Yeah.
locked and loaded, baby.
For some
And
reason,
I'll
go
change the tone of that to go lower so it sounds more impressive.
super low. For some reason,
Locked and
whenever
loaded.
you pull your shoulders back, you're from the angle of the camera, it makes your arm length look super small.
Like this. It does.
It's like you got little baby arms.
Look, baby
Yeah,
arms.
exactly.
Fucking
You're having the opposite effect. It's like your arms look jacked, but they're they lose a couple inches.
pretty
Oh,
cool, huh?
oh, you're keeping them going the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this as hard as I can the whole time.
By the end of it, you'll
Start
just be.
sweating. Um, I was I was in the gym. I can't remember. It must have been earlier this week or last week or something. Um, but so the gym I work out at is at work. So it is shared with the people that live, let's just say, at this facility. Okay. This facility also serves as a place where young young men live. Okay. And so I have to share this gym with like 18 to like 21-year-old boys, essentially. Um, and for the most part, they're fine. It's like it's okay. They usually just go in there, do their thing, and then leave. But there's like a group I work out usually the same time every like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday of the week, right?
Just
So
every
I see
single
the
day of the
same.
week.
I work out every day of the week.
No days off.
No, 0 days off. Um, but so you see the same people, right? And so there's like a group of there's like a group of bros, like proper gym bros. And one of them he was working out solo away from his um his gaggle, if you will. And at the end of his workout, and this guy's like not ripped, right? I mean, he's not like he doesn't have like a very impressive physique. He just looks like a pretty normal like.
He's not out of shape.
No, he's not out of shape, but he's not like, he doesn't look like Chris Bumstead. And Google Chris Bumstead
Yeah,
for
that
those of you
dude's
listening.
crazy.
Freaking jacked. Normal looking guy. But at the end of his workout, he takes his shirt off, which is not allowed. He takes his shirt off and starts posing in the mirror.
Huh.
Like there in the of course it's, every other gym is like full length wall to wall mirror, ceiling to floor mirrors, right? So I guess it's like ideal for that, but you're not supposed to do that, right? That's not
Yeah,
the
I've seen some
so
viral videos of that guy who's like posing, and then some like lower ranked dude with his girlfriend yells at him or something.
yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah, and
strictly enforced there, I guess.
yeah, it's just like we have certain rules, and they're definitely different than civilian gyms. And this guy people just, I guess because they live there, they feel a little more maybe entitled to like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. Who cares? Because I live here. Um, I just thought it was weird. Like there was other people there too. It's not like it was completely empty. If it was completely empty, or like maybe like one of your friends was there, I can imagine doing it. Like maybe just like maybe taking your shirt off for a quick second and then doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. It's dead in there. But there were a handful of other people in there, and he was just like unashamedly just flexing in the mirror like he was getting ready for a competition. And his physique was not at all impressive. Like it wasn't like everybody stopped and was like,
It's the
"Whoa."
it's the before picture.
Yeah, this was like the during picture, you know. He's
Okay.
like he's like maybe a few weeks into a bulk, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? and he already weighed like 120 pounds. So it's not that impressive. I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
Did anyone say anything to him?
No, of course not.
Hmm.
I just, I don't, I don't have he was born with a bone in his brain or without a bone in his brain. And I don't get it. I would never in a million years would I ever think to do that.
Just the lighting was perfect. He got a nice pump. The mirrors are there. He let the intrusive thoughts in, and shirt's coming off.
Just for a second, even though this higher ranking, like obviously band member is in here, he won't think it's weird at all.
he's
Not
a
even, yeah,
he's a new guy.
just I guess so. Anyways, just thought I'd share that little anecdote.
Come on,
Um,
get
yeah,
out of there.
get out of there. Speaking of annoyance, what do you got on annoyance here?
Oh, this popped up. It's this Chinese American like ER surgeon who's like basically he's very successful and he's giving tips on how it's a blueprint for how to pass the other 99% of people in any field.
Uh,
And he said there's three steps. And step one, level one is annoyance. So doing something that's mildly annoying in your schedule for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Then you graduate onto something that causes you anxiety for some amount of time per week, per day, per week. And then finally, level three is doing something that causes pain, either physical or emotional pain. And
mm,
just by doing those things, you are automatically going to be leveling up, so to speak, compared to 99% of people in any field that are generally just staying in that like comfort zone. And
I
I,
see.
I I felt like it made sense, but
So it's like resilience training.
yeah. But I mean, I think it implies like you're you're spending your time also developing skill in whatever pursuit you're doing. Like you're not just doing an ice bath every day and saying, "Okay, I've got pain level 3 pain covered. I'm going to be successful."
Right. Yeah.
But I thought he
It's
had some good stuff.
and is it these do these things have to be related to your field of expertise?
I think the
Like you can't go to Costco on a Sunday afternoon and be like,
yeah.
now my double tonguing is better. Right?
That
You can't do
exactly.
that.
That's the thing that I was like, okay, you're kind of missing the. I mean, he's doing these broad strokes, and he like glossed over the fact a little bit of like, okay, you also need to be like disciplined in your studying or practicing or like that. You're not just gonna magically be better than everyone. But I think he included that without saying it.
Yeah, do you think a lot of these like um life hack gurus, like we talked about Andy Elliott last time, like a lot of it is 1% digestible to 99% of people,
Hmm.
you know? Like it's very surface level digestible. It's like, yeah, I want to be the best. And then it's like, how do I be the best? And it's like, you gotta fucking grind. And it's like, all
You
right. But
got to
that's just
just be
like,
the best.
yeah, exactly. And that's like the literal tip of the iceberg.
Uh-huh.
And then I bet if you really sat down with someone like Andy Elliott, like sat down one on one, that's where it would probably be. I'm not saying he's the most beneficial, whatever, but I bet you if you sat down, like anybody, if anybody just sat down with him and really picked his brain about like, okay, like really, like go, like get into it. Like, what's your day to day like? How are you able to do these things? Walk me through it, you know? And then he'd be like, okay, well, I'm on TRT. Here's how you get TRT. You know what I mean? Here's how you administer TRT. Okay, you can't afford TRT. Okay, here's how I started my first business from the ground up. And then he like walks you through those steps. It's like, okay, well, this is a lot fucking harder than it sounds. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then someone who's really motivated by it, which is like let's be let's be generous and say it's 10% of people, they're going to really be like, okay, cool. I'm just going to do those steps,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's, you know, 90% of people, let's be generous, are just going to stop at, okay, gotta be the best. And they're just going to just fly head first, blind, with no blinders, just at something and not really know what to do, you know? So it's like this kind of shit. Okay, got to do one thing that's annoying, one thing that gives me anxiety, and one thing that causes me pain. It's like, okay, what does that mean? You know, what does
He
all of
yeah,
that
he gives
mean?
examples of stuff
Sure.
like
But I
annoyance
guess some
is like
people don't
waking
know
up
how to relate
earlier.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people don't know how to relate it to their, you know what I mean? They don't have like, I guess people should then be a little more creative in like their problem solving too and how you relate it to everyday stuff, you know?
Right.
Because like, look, if you're an artist doing an ice bath every day or like going for a 6 mile run, I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily gonna do it. You know, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, I,
Yeah.
I don't. I think there's probably better ways to spend that hour hour that you're running your six. You know, I don't know, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, and then he says in a separate posting, that's the next part is he also explains as really there's only 4 hours in a day for most people.
Okay.
So it's
Hmm.
like he's painting a picture, and I
For
don't
most people,
hate
I see.
everything he's saying. I think
Yeah.
he's got a lot of good stuff, but yeah, kind of like what you're hinting at is like, okay, a lot of this with every self-help book, the reason why people kind of dislike it is because it almost seems like common sense, and it's like, okay, sure, yeah, that's 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 what you got to do. You're not no one's just sitting around all day. Some people are, but no one's just like doing nothing all day.
Right.
Um, at least the people who are the majority of people who are seeking self help are probably people who have a job trying to change
Yeah.
their lives. Like, but anyway, he's the only 4 hours in a day thing is he was explaining is like, okay, you got the commute, you got your job, you got sleep, you got eating. These are the things you have to do. If you add all those up, you only really have 4 hours left to do any anything you want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a time management thing.
Yeah. I see that for most people. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My commute is not. Anyways, I'm not going to relate this to me, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
see
in a
that
little bit more unique situation.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think that a lot of this stuff, like you said, is very common sense, which makes a lot of it just the same shit, you know? Like
just
a lot
who
of
the
these
people
people.
who are the delivery is different.
Yeah,
Someone's yelling at
exactly.
you, someone's saying it more calmly, someone's sitting down like a professor and talking to you like it's scientifically, like he discovered it himself. Yeah. There's they're all saying the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Some people talk like this.
Mhm.
Some people talk like this, you know? Some people talk like this.
Mhm.
Some people talk like this. Um, Yeah, but it's all the same shit. Listen, people, it's all the same stuff, okay? Just like podcasts out there, except for this one. They're all saying the same stuff, okay?
Yeah. I think it's important to look at the correlations of successful people and see like, okay, yeah, a lot of them are doing these things, but
Yeah,
it's not necessarily what got them there, I believe.
right. Yeah. Yeah, there's some luck in there. You know, there's like definitely different starting people start at different, points in the race,
Mhm.
so to speak. Um yeah, I was thinking about this. I was just thinking about I guess maybe just people I've interacted with in my life, either in like friendships or like dating wise. I guess I was probably just thinking about in dating wise, but um, and like how I feel like because I haven't really, even though I was married to one, I haven't really dated a lot of, especially now, I don't go on a lot of dates with musicians.
Hmm.
Like it's mostly just like it's mostly non-musicians, right? Every now and then I'll get like, oh, whoa, you you played blah 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 in college, or maybe you like they still like as a hobby or something like that. But um and again, with relation to like different starting points, I feel like I can relate to non-musicians sometimes better because I didn't go to like conservatory. I didn't like
Because
grow
of the
up.
musicians who are around you,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
they had totally different
not that I
backgrounds.
not that I can't relate to them at all, but like the stuff I relate to them takes up such a small part of my took up a small part of my development, and really like aside it's just my job. I don't really identify myself all of my being with my job, you know? Um but like now I was like, yeah, I find it interesting that I feel more comfortable at least being around a lot of the times anyways, being around non-musicians, just because it's like I've had a lot of like real like normal world experiences and stuff
Mm.
like that. I have a ton of different hobbies outside of music and stuff. I don't know. So like it just that made me think of like different starting points. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh, this is you start here with these parents, or you start here in this city. So it's like you have access to different stuff, or you don't have access to different stuff. I don't know. It's just like that's also a factor. Unfortunately, sometimes it plays, you know, it's a hindrance, or it, puts you behind the starting line, so to speak. It did for me anyways, as far as like but I didn't know I'd be playing trumpet professionally, so it's like it's not really I don't really think of it as like I don't get bent out of shape about it. It would have been nice to like, oh, the Dallas Symphony's right down the road. I could go take lessons with some of those guys, or whatever, a grad student from this college or something like that, or lessons at all, but um and then some people were just like doing it from the jump,
So do you feel like a lot of the musicians around you, they were on the path to become like this high upper echelon of musicians at the highest level? They were on that path much sooner than you were.
They were at least doing the steps. Like their parents were like, "Oh, they're they're taking to this, right?" So,
Mm.
okay. And they had a couple brain cells in their head to rub together, more than my absent-ish parents, to I'm kidding. But to realize like, "Oh, okay, well, they're good at this. There's other people nearby that are good at this.
Yeah.
Obviously, the
A lot
let's
of them
see if
probably
this
grew up
sticks."
in like busier areas too, like metropolitan
Affluent
cities.
areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just see if trumpet lessons stick. Let's see if piano lessons stick. Oh, okay, cool. They stick. Okay, they really like this. Now, instead of, you know, I went to ski camp in the summers, which was fucking amazing, which was
Mm-hmm.
awesome, right? Or instead of playing football or basketball in the summer, which is what I did, or like fuck around in the woods. Let's see if music camp works in the summer. Oh, cool. That's what I mean. So that's like
Getting,
obviously
you
it's
know,
yeah. And I
instruction
had
from
different
professionals at from
yeah,
elementary, middle school level, yeah,
right.
age.
And I had a different path. I was obviously like doing sports and music, or playing in bands and stuff like that. But yeah, it just made me think of like that makes me think of just like different people's starting points. It's just
Yeah.
interesting. I don't know. Yeah.
When two people like you're describing who were, had the advantages from young age of just being on this path, when they meet, is there like a list of questions that they kind of go through?
Yeah.
Like what, without giving away like identities of people, obviously, what are some
Sure.
typical questions that people like that would ask that you feel like you're not really able to answer maybe, but you know what I'm saying? Like what are like the typical like check
I norm
boxes?
I normally get it from like when I'm out and about playing like yeah, when I'm out and about playing and people find out like what group I play with or that I am a professional like I'm a full-time professional trumpet player. It's you like amateurs or yeah, it's usually amateurs or just like enthusiasts of music. First fucking thing they ask is where I went to school. First thing. And I just like I want to say nowhere. You know, I
Yeah,
always just want to
self-taught
say no.
homeschool all the way.
Yeah. I usually just want to say nowhere. Like I didn't really go to music school. I mean, I obviously went to schools of music, but I didn't go to music school. You know what I mean? That's I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you've made
always
that
hate
difference
answering.
before.
Yeah, I always hate answering that question, right? Because it's like it's the same thing as like someone's like, "Oh, you're from Texas? Where?" And I'm like, "You've never heard of it. Try me." And I'm like, "All right, pal." You know, it's like I'm like, "Oh, okay, Payne Springs." And they're like, "Oh, I never." Yeah, no
Uh,
fucking
I thought you were
shit,
gonna say
dumbass.
Austin or something.
Yeah, right. Is that yeah, I always say Payne Springs like, "Is that near Houston? I have an uncle that lives in Houston." Like, "No, fucko, it's in fucking East Texas."
All right.
Yeah, anyways, I'm getting all hot and
You're
bothered here,
getting
but
so mad.
um no, see, so normal people always ask where I went to school, right?
Uh,
And then other musicians will like they want to know um yeah, I guess where I went to school or maybe who I know. They always play that game. Oh, do you know this person? Oh, I went to and it's when they find out I went to like nowhere schools, they that usually stops
yeah.
that game of like where oh do you know this person? Do you know this person? But then when I mention like some of the festivals I've done or some of the orchestras I played with, then it's like, oh, do
It
you know
opens
this
up.
person?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a split. It's like people that aren't like professionals, it's like they want to hear that you went to like Juilliard or Curtis
They're looking
or
for those talking points. Yeah.
they're like because that's their expectation. Oh, you're a professional. You must have gone to ABC school, right? And then it's like when you get in the professional world, it's like who did you take from? What festival did you go to? Who do you know? That kind of stuff. They're trying
Yeah.
to connect the dots, all that shit. Um, I don't know. Speaking of annoyance, I find that all of that extremely annoying.
Well,
Very annoying.
yeah. I mean, and for them, I would think it would be pretty important for them to meet people actually, not it, who hadn't gone down their path or who haven't gone to those the same upbringing, maybe non-musicians, because
Yeah,
like there's also a limiting factor of whenever you do meet people who have those similar background is you feel almost compelled to talk about those things. It's like,
sure.
okay, because we have these in common, we're like pigeonholed into, okay, we have to talk about it. It kind of happens here with expats.
Mm,
There's the questions. It's like, okay, when did you come to Korea? How long have you been here? Okay, where are you from? Okay, and do you teach you know, middle elementary school, middle school, high school? Do you teach private? Do you teach blah 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 public school? It's like there's these questions. It's like neither one of us really care about the answers, but because that's what we have
yeah,
in common, it's like we immediately limit ourselves to those talking points. But it's kind of like a fresh air whenever you meet someone who's like doing a totally different job than what you've ever
yeah,
even thought about doing or what's out there, and then you can actually have like interesting
totally.
conversations about it. When I first came here, I it kind of it kind of was that was one of the hardest parts because I had gone like the last 8 years of just talking with musicians or band
Mm,
people, and then when I got here it's like I don't have any musician friends, or even the musician friends that I had. They just played guitars or sang as hobbies and stuff. There was some like there were a few that had
yeah.
studied, but like that was like something I had to overcome. It was like, whoa, this is the first time I haven't had like brass friends, and it's
Mm,
like
mm,
this that was like there was a hole in my social like uh my social life. It was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
I can't make these same jokes that I could make with like my brass friends. It was like it was different. But
Yeah.
you know, you meet people who are different from you, and then you can have
Mhm.
pretty cool conversations that way.
Yeah, I think it makes you a more like I mean, I'm not saying that it's, I'm better than other
Mm,
people.
well,
I'm not gonna, well, I'm not gonna say it, but um, yeah, I think it's good to like if you have other hobbies, you're exposed to like a different social circle.
hmm
And then like you're saying, it's like you could have easily just been like, I don't like this. I'm going back to Texas and gonna just be around the safety of, whatever. I'll be a band director and I'll just be, whatever. I'll just be in that social circle that's, safe or whatever. But like you've built an awesome life for yourself. And yeah, because you like took a chance and you were like got used to maybe it was uncomfortable at first, but you just kind of felt comfortable in that discomfort, I guess. And yeah, it's not a bad thing. I don't think that's why the hobbies are great because it's like something interests you, you go do it, then you meet people that are like interested in that thing that you want to do, and you find out, oh shit, we also have these other things that are in common, like
Yeah,
and then you can just like, yeah, have a different social circle, I guess, and that's pretty cool. I'm really bad though about the second part is about like finding people that do these certain hobbies
mm.
and then like going
Following up.
beyond going beyond that. It's like, hey, you're cool. Let's see if this works. Mainly because of my age, I think. It's just like
uh,
I'm all friended up, pretty much. It's like, yeah, it's if you okay, fine. If you want to get a beer, okay. Yeah, let's do it. And it never works out. But um I think for me, I have enough friends, you know, that to go out with. And then it's just cool to like be around people, I think, at certain things that I do and make small talk and then just like check that box and go home and be like, I'm alone. Thank God.
you fill up your social tank, energy tank.
Yeah. I definitely feel like, yeah, I definitely feel that I'm there. I mean, I like being around people, but I definitely feel like, okay, I like having my own space. But
hmm
it is good to like go be around people. Like that's important too. Yeah.
I
You don't
think,
have to be like
yeah.
Mr. Or Mrs. you know, Butterfly or whatever. But yeah, being around people is good, I think.
Yeah, I think not to go back to the annoyance, anxiety, pain topic, but I think most of that could be summed up in a better, not necessarily better way, but a different way of just saying do stuff. Like,
Yeah, do stuff.
like go do
Try
stuff,
stuff. Try
try stuff,
stuff.
do stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's it. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I hate this, so I'm gonna do this because it causes me discomfort and pain and makes me depressed. Like you don't have to. It's not like what's it called? Since uh what's that
I
therapy?
know
Like
um
you know what disruption
it's almost like
therapy or something.
stress therapy or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not
I
like
think I know
stress
what you're talking
therapy.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like just do stuff, find some
yeah.
enjoyment and then
Yeah.
keep doing it. But yeah, I do think his main point is like we tend to be sedentary. We get enjoyment from these quick endorphins of things that don't really necessarily benefit us, and then we don't we don't meet our full potential. But there's
Yeah.
plenty of stuff that are good and also give you endorphins and make you feel
Hmm.
feel good. So do
Yeah.
stuff.
Do stuff. And one of the things I did this week was um I watched a playthrough of this video game. Now the title is misleading. It's not what you think. The title of the video
Mm,
game is Indica, spelled Indika, and it's the name of a person. This
okay.
person is a character in a video game. I guess self-titled, but um and this okay, I'll just read a description, okay? Indica is a third person, story driven game in a strange world where religious visions clash with harsh reality. It tells the story of a young nun who sets off on a journey of self-discovery with the most unusual, horn-headed companion by her side. On the outside, Indica seems to be a typical nun, attempting to adjust to a difficult, monotonous monastery life. Humble and innocent in her appearance, do not be deceived, as this young girl has also made a highly unlikely acquaintance, as she speaks with the devil himself.
Oh.
Indica's unusual connection with the evil one leads her on an errand beyond the safe walls of the monastery. The world she discovers can only be described as a wild combination of comedy and tragedy straight out of the novels of Dostoevsky and Bul- Bulhakov. I don't know who that is. I guess a couple of Russian um, authors, poets, whatever. But um, anyways, this video game, and I sent you a like a maybe just the link to the video game, but
Mm-hmm.
dude, it is. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience. I guess it's not really. It's like a puzzle game slash not really horror, but there are some just like psychedelic kind of like shock moments in it. Not shock and like it's like uh, unnecessary, but there are just like some like pretty real world moments of like, just like people being
Yeah.
evil, people being real, I guess. And it just what I love about it, what I love to watch, because I'm probably never gonna play the game, but what I love about these like just these like things like Twitch and YouTube is like you can watch someone play this game and I still feel like I get all, especially a story driven video game,
Mm-hmm.
is watching someone play it. I still feel pretty much all of the enjoyment of playing the video game because it is story driven. You're watching a professional play it. So it's like you're pretty much getting the best experience of it. You know what I mean?
Streamlined. Yeah.
Yeah, very streamlined. They're not doing any like, and you can play the game for yourself and get all of like nooks and crannies and stuff in the game. Or nuns and crannies. Oh man. Um, but yeah, it was like a very original, just really unique, odd, wild, very
Awesome.
enjoyable to watch game. Yeah. So, for anybody that doesn't watch video games, that's fine. But if you're looking for something to watch, if you're like, I don't really have anything to watch, although the Fallout series on Amazon is very good. Um, yeah, go give this a shot. There's plenty of playthroughs out there of this game, Indica. I would, and maybe it's not your thing to like watch someone play a video game, or maybe video games aren't your thing, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like I think most people idea of video games is like Call of Duty or like
Right.
Minecraft or Fortnite, which whatever, those are different types of video games and like a story-driven video game like this. And I think it's worth a try. If you're
Yeah.
like at the gym on the treadmill, just give it a shot. You'll be surprised at how good as storytellers some of these video game developers are. Like really, it really is. It's amazing. I think
Yeah.
it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had much experience with it, but I am very much aware of there's a like now is the easiest time for anyone indie like solo developers to make a game. And I really think it's been used well uh in the sense of instead of people who have something they want to say basically being limited to writing something, writing it down in a book, which books are great. uh there's now this new medium where people who want to express their story, they may not want to write it down in a book. They actually are making these games. There's even a whole new genre of game called like novels, like
Yeah. I
like
think that's what this is. Yeah.
game novels, and usually they're like pixelated and it's like old style, like Super Nintendo graphics because they're solo developers. But occasionally you get a game
Yeah.
like this where it's a full like book novel length story slightly condensed into a game, interactive game where you can explore. It's like it's a pretty cool concept if you think about it. Uh, uh, a little bit more than just a game. Like it's not just a way. It's not just like an arcade game. It's an immersive, story driven. You get to pace yourself, explore it, interact with the characters in a almost personal level while getting this great uh, story told to you.
Yeah, there, and this reminds me of a book. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast. I think you and I have talked about it. It's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And it's
Mm-hmm.
about two friends that create video games together. Um,
I don't think you ever
and
told me about this.
okay, so it's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And I know somebody listening is going to roast me for the pronunciation of this name, but just going to say it. Gabriella Zevin, I think is how you pronounce their name. Again, the book is called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It's about their story. You know, it's sort of like a story about friendship and love and, you know, coming of age and self-realization and all of that stuff. And but they create video games together, and very much they tell their stories through video games. It's a super good book. I read it last
Tomorrow
year, I
and
think.
tomorrow and tomorrow.
Yeah, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriella Zevin. Again, I am sorry for the pronunciation if that's wrong. I'm sure you're gonna let me know about it. But it's a really good game, and or sorry, that's a really good book. And I feel like it's what you were describing, the novel style of creating a video game. This is very much this book is very much like that. And in the game Indica, there are segments of Indica's story, so it's very meta. Uh, Parts of her past are told through a 16-bit video game
Oh,
where you actually play segments of her storyline, her past life storyline, so it kind
huh.
of explains like where she came from and stuff. Like
Like
it
a mini
informs
game
you
kind
like,
of thing.
yeah, the mini game is a 16-bit, like, yeah, like, yeah, exactly like that. So it's super trippy, and it's fucking so original. That's what I love about it. It's like it's just like you don't, I don't know. There's a lot of like fast food video games out there, and this is just like so refreshing. Whether whatever, if you like it or not, you cannot deny that it's like completely, it's so original and like fresh and new, and it's cool. I like it. Very dark too,
Yeah.
which is cool. So Indica, yeah, go check it out.
Indica.
Um, yeah. One, so I a complete non sequitur, but I the climbing gym I go to is like I live in Capitol Hill, but at East Capitol Hill, so it's right in the middle of these other two neighborhoods, Shaw and Eckington, and very like very inclusive, very like, you know, young, like, you know what I mean, like very modern, I guess. Let's just, you know, people would use the pejorative term woke, right?
Okay.
Um, I think you get the idea. Um, uh, and so that's pretty much the people that go to this climbing gym. I like it. I like those people. I feel a lot in common with these people. They're very nice. And but I just like they very much look like hipsters, right? You know, as you would think of them. Um, and I guess just living in Colorado, I have a different view of hipsters. I guess maybe my view of hipsters is wrong. Um, but I just like really liked the dirt bag aesthetic of a hipster, I guess.
So
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
Colorado hipster,
I guess so. And maybe I just have a different idea of what a
like
hipster is.
slightly like leaning towards unhoused.
Yeah, leaning toward unhoused. I like that aesthetic of just
Uh-huh.
like being a dirt bag. If I could, I just like that. Just I'm just gonna throw on whatever clothes and shoes and like the very utilitarian style of dressing that, but also looks cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Like you put some thought into it, but also like it's just kind of like this shit is comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like that.
Tweed
And so
overalls or something.
I guess so. Yeah, like work pants, that cost probably that are high quality. You know what I mean? I don't know. They're like they're sort of man. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. I'm going down a hole. But anyways, it's a very like no frills. It's like a dive bar. If a person was a dive bar, that's kind of what I like. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's my idea of a hipster. If a person was a dive bar, a true dive bar, they got a beer and a shot combo, cash only. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of talk however you want.
Uh-huh.
That's the kind of I'm painting a picture
I got it.
here. These these are like hipsters, but they also have like a master's degree from Georgetown. You know what I mean?
Highly
So it's like
educated.
highly educated. I what I like about like a dive bar is like I feel like there's other people there where I'm just like I can kind of just like turn my brain off and just talk
Right.
about just stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like that's what I loved about going like that's what found that I loved about going to tattoo shops and getting tattooed is just like I just have some of the most like conversations, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just like, oh, I can let my hair down mentally a little bit and just like I don't know, just like talk about random stupid shit and I don't have to feel like I have to like wax on about the social struggles of oh, my gosh, really we have to fix the unhoused situation. Oh, yes, I agree. We really need more representation in the blah blah blah. Like that's all important. I totally get
Yeah.
it. But there's really something just to be said about like man, I watched Predator for the first time in a while. Man, is that a fucking good movie?
Nice,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like, yeah, like so I found that like when I am at the climbing gym, while I like the people and I feel comfortable and included
Yeah.
in that crowd, I find that they're like way above my like IQ level. And so it is a little intimidating to open my mouth around those people because I'm not like I guess most educated person, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I do find it a little intimidating to like try and have a conversation because I feel probably I would be like very shallow, you know what I mean? Like not shallow in like making
The
misogynistic jokes or
conversation just
something.
stops and they look at you for a second like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. All
Anyway.
right, this guy is obviously a fucking idiot, you know? I would be very pleasant to these people, but I just probably wouldn't be very stimulating in
Mm-hmm.
intelligence wise, I guess. You know what I mean? Where they're probably very involved in politics and social politics and stuff like that. And that's fine. I'm all about it. Like I'm all about all that stuff. I like that I live in a place where that's important.
Do you think it's
Man, do I
just that,
also
Jim, or is that climbing culture now in today's like the
no,
way
because
climbing culture
there's
is developed?
okay, yes, I see what you're saying. And yes. Um, but I've definitely like there's a guy there, Joe, who's like from Ocean City, Maryland, and he like I think he works as like a I think he works like a blue collar job and he's my age. And first of all, also just probably high off his ass all of the time, which I also love. He's just a kind of a character, you know what I mean? And yeah, we just talk about climbing. Oh yeah, this route's really hard. And I feel like I could just talk to him about like just random bullshit and it would be cool.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that's what I just like. I don't know.
I think climbing culture, I always assumed climbing culture and jujitsu culture would be very similar in the fact of you're with other people, but your focus is generally on the really physically, mentally demanding thing. Because it's like, okay, we're doing something physical, but also there's some consequences here where you have to be
Sure.
focused and there's some problem solving where you have to
Yeah.
figure out, like, oh, I love that technique you did on that. Well, show me, how did you do that with your, with your
Yeah.
grip? It's like, I imagine the conversation would be very similar, but in jiu-jitsu, that's one of the coolest things is you can get people like it kind of depends on the cost of the gym too, but generally
Sure.
it's cheap. Anyway, uh generally you're getting people who are like, oh, this person is studying for their final exams while this person is like he just got off work and he's working he's a carpenter or something, and then like you get, oh, he's a nurse at the hospital. It's like you get all these different people, but anyway, you're focused and distracted away from all the typical conversations that you have in your own like professional circles. Like you're focused on this physically demanding thing, and it's like this is awesome. uh
Yeah.
but it sounds like your gym, it's probably just your gym thing where it's like these
I
people
think it's a
can't leave it at the office, it sounds like.
I think it's yes. And I mean they're also like around the same age, so it's like they're going there probably to meet people that are also like into social politics and stuff like that. I mean, it's DC also. Like
Mm,
if I
the
were in a
DC
like
thing.
a if I were back in Boulder, you know, I imagine that we would be talking specifically about like, oh, like what about, oh yeah, like that move would be interesting. Like really in like I can remember doing that, like, oh yeah, that move would be interesting. I never thought about that. And it would be more of like a it and I'll just give it my experience in DC gyms. I feel like people in this gym are trying to impress other people with their knowledge of climbing versus in Colorado, it was just like people kind of hit it a little bit more. Whereas like someone may be watching you that's really in like in when I lived in Colorado, someone would be like watching you do it, or they would just be like, that this person is a killer. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like just kill crushes. And so like maybe I'm struggling with a problem, and then they're just like he or she's just very quiet, but I know that they're like, a badass. So I would sit next to them
They have
and I'd be like,
something.
hey, have you done this route? And I'm really struggling with the third move. And they would be like, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That's a really hard move for sure. I think what I tried, what worked for me is like, and they would like say that, right?
Yeah.
Where I noticed at my gym in DC, and it is clear, like people go there with they have like groups of friends, right? And I noticed that like like I can tell when it's like a newer climber because they're very enthusiastic about climbing, which is great. But I notice like if they're a lot better than their friends, a lot of their friends, they're just spraying them with beta as they're on the route, which is like very cringy
Hmm.
in proper climbing culture. That's a very cringy thing to do is to like as when someone's on the route just being like, now do this, now do that, now, and they're using like climbing terms like now flag here, Gaston here, now you gotta blah blah blah. Use that like they're using like it's like okay, obviously you're showing off your climbing knowledge and you're also being a dickhead
Yeah.
at the same time.
That happened.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That happens a lot in jiu-jitsu. It's kind of, it's both mitigated and enhanced because of the fact that there's a belt system
Mm,
where usually, if because of the way the belts work, people will generally like submit to a higher belt's knowledge who's trying to like actually help them. You're like, oh, okay, i
yeah.
can i can actually visibly see the experience that you're wearing on you, so okay, I'll listen to
Right.
what you have to say. But at the same time, there's higher belts that abuse that, where
Oh
it's
yeah.
like, okay,
Mhm.
I'm a higher belt, so I am going to just, while you're sparring, I'm just going to be shouting things that you should be doing or what I would be doing in that situation. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, the actual killers that like the black belts or the highest level people are usually quiet and wait until someone comes and
Oh yeah.
asks. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a similar culture.
Yeah, and I grew up. I started climbing and did a lot of that climb like learned how to climb around like in gyms where literal professional climbers were, like people that were sponsored climbers and like made and they were all first of all, usually the nicest people at the gym, usually. And they would go in and yeah, like people obviously first of all knew who they were, so it was like they also I what's interesting, it was like there was this like kind of Doppler effect where I think the people that wanted to impress them the most were like just very cringy people, and like they were like, I don't know, really trying to show their knowledge or whatever. And then the people that were like just wanted to be there around them, you know what I mean? We're just like cool and like, okay, I'm just gonna be invisible because I don't want to like vibe out this person, but I'm gonna hopefully like climb near them and maybe they'll see me climb and maybe I'll get like some tips or something like that. Like
Yeah.
that was like, I don't know. I liked that in Colorado because it was just like I just liked the culture of it. I just liked it more. But now this the gym I am at, remember at in DC is lovely. It's a very nice gym, very lovely people. But there's still like some people that are just like, all right, yeah, we know you've watched all the YouTube videos about climbing and yeah, we get it, but shut up, dude. When your friend's climbing, just let them fucking figure it out. That's the fun in climbing, is you figuring it out on your own. You know what I mean?
That's why I kind of like those videos where it shows someone like a secret expert goes into a new gym and
Yeah.
it's like they downplay their abilities, and then it's amazing where you see people just like, oh, you're new? Okay, let me show you this, let me show you this. And then it's like, oh wait, you're like a 10-time world champion, blah blah blah. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. And then there's the entire dynamic changes.
Yeah.
I love seeing those videos.
Totally. What else we got? Oh, chiropractic on. Oh God, chiropractic on animals.
I don't know why. I didn't know chiropractic is a word until I typed it in and it didn't get I was about to write chiropracticing. Seems like that should be what it's called.
That's what I was gonna say.
But then it was red, so I changed it to chiropractic, and I guess it makes sense. A chiropractor.
Well, I'm
Chiro-
gonna also hear about that if that's not a word. So
Okay. True.
let's stick with chiropractic.
I don't know why I used to get a lot of human chiropractic videos with all the
Weird.
yeah, all the various like devices and like the satisfying cracks. And I was walking at a 90 my back was bent at a 90-degree angle, and then he cracked my back, and now I can walk straight for the first time in 30 years, those kind of videos. But now I've been
Sure.
getting like I saw a guy the other day adjusting the neck of a giraffe. First of
The
all,
whole neck?
yeah, like he's up on this like third floor of this
Okay.
like barn, and then this giraffe comes and like puts his head on him, and he just like uses his whole body to just like he does this like jerking motion, and I guess we're supposed to think that he cracked the neck of a giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not buying. There's no way
Okay.
he's strong enough. Like the giraffe's neck is it's like a freaking tree trunk. You're not adjusting anything. There's no way you cracked the vertebrae of a giraffe. There's just no way you did it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I'm I'm looking at a video here or videos.
it's like the giraffe is kind of calmly. Is it a
I'm
giraffe?
just
Which one are you watching?
I'm watching it on like other animals. Oh
Oh,
my
okay.
God.
Yeah, they take like dogs into like they put a dog and
Yeah.
a husky in like a full Nelson, and they do this like jerking motion. It's
Yeah,
like,
I'm watching it like on
and it's like
horses and stuff.
look at yeah, the horse chiropractor. That's what was getting. Maybe it's because I was getting into those hoofing videos actually.
Oh, hoofing. Oh,
Hoofing
of
it.
I look, I imagine, I don't know. This is doesn't say. Oh, now the dog can walk, of course. I can imagine like the horse stuff because people put a lot. Now I can see how a horse chiropractor is a thing. That makes sense to me because there's a lot of money in like, horse
Horses.
racing and stuff like that. But doing it on your cat, I, I don't know. That's just weird to me.
Well, like
It's just it
cats
doesn't.
are like so flexible.
Yeah, they're bendy.
They're bendy. There's no way. I don't know. There's no way you're
I don't
like,
know.
oh, you're so stressed. Okay. Oh, I found it. It's like
Yeah. Oh,
they add like the popping sounds. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
and it's like, look at the immediate relief on the animal. And the animal is always just like,
It's like fear.
what the
Yeah.
heck did you just try and do to me? Should I attack you or
Yeah.
should I
Like
just
I watched I just watched a dog video and it like cracked its neck and the dog was like,
yeah.
"I'm gonna bite your face off.
Exactly.
I'm gonna rip your ear off." And then
Uh
it forgets that
yeah.
what just happened. Wait a minute, huh?
Food?
Yeah,
Okay.
This is great. Yeah, food.
You can see there's not the immediate relief that they think they're talking about.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't. I don't know. It's. I already think it's hocus pocus on people. It's
Right.
probably hocus pocus on animals.
I mean, I crack my own stuff on
Yeah.
myself pretty
Sure.
efficiently, I think.
Yeah.
And it feels nice, but
Yeah.
I imagine if I went to a chiropractor, he's just doing the same stuff.
Yeah. To end, check out these nice peonies I got from Trader Joe's.
Whoa, nice
This
peonies,
one's
dude.
dead. This one's kind of ragged, but look at this. Look at this baby.
They're huge. That's the biggest peonies I've ever seen.
Smell pretty good too. They smell like if you took a head of lettuce and just kind of like the faintest watered down perfume, just like and wafted it on there
Uh-huh.
on a head of lettuce. So it
Perfumed
smells
lettuce.
green, but there's a nice little scent to it. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. Go and smell some flowers,
Did
people.
you find those or did you buy them?
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Because they're way more expensive at Whole Foods, trust me. Anyways, that's all I got. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Me.
Recording stopped.
Nice.
Oh, gotta. This is bonus content.
Bonus content.
We gotta go to. We're doing a festival today,
Nice. Bunch of
and
the International Food Festival.
yeah, and for some reason the organizers of the festival love us a lot since
Oh,
last year. I
nice.
guess our booth was really popular, but they gave us a notice today or a couple days ago that they said the mayor of Daejeon will be visiting the festival, and depending on if he's running late or not, if he comes at this certain time, they told us, they gave us the heads up that they will bring the mayor to our booth to try a meat pie.
That's awesome.
So I might be you might see me on national news. Um, you know, American Korean relations. Yeah. We might be signing some paperwork,
Yeah.
some treaties, something like that.
Definitely plug the podcast. Where I call an imaginary person a fucko.
Yeah, I
That's
think
cool though.
yeah, I think it was
You
gonna be
definitely have
cool.
to like Instagram it and stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, we'll take some pictures of it for sure. If
That's
it
cool, man.
happens, if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be
meeting the
hopefully it
mayor.
happens.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Will you get to feed the mayor of Daejeon a meat pie? Like,
Yeah, I'll just be putting it in his face.
yeah, that would be cool. Or like do one of these, like the arm things at
Uh-huh.
weddings.
I'll be behind
You're
his
like,
back, arm around his shoulders, and then I'll be bringing it to him
ooh,
like that.
yeah. Or you could like dip him and then like you should. That's what you should do.
Spin him around.
You should bite the opening of the meat pie and then like drip some of the meat drippings into his open mouth as you dip him down like this. Kind of just
Why?
shake the meat filling into his mouth because
It's
maybe he's
going
older. Yeah.
going all down his chin.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's
Down
hot.
his scalding hot.
Oh, it's hot. Honey, hop.
Uh,
What's hot? To. Right? Is that hot?
Yeah, that's like temperature hot.
Yeah.
Sugo is
Not
like something that's
raw.
Sugo is hot to the touch.
Mm, oh.
Oh,
That's awesome though. Yeah, get
yeah,
a
it's
good.
gonna be cool.
Hopefully, you guys can like get a video from that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna be doing. And Ali got up at 5 to go do make ingredients, or I don't know what she's doing, but I gotta go there at like 9 to start selling.
You don't have to work today.
No, it's Saturday.
Oh shit.